Wittelsbach-Graff. The Wittelsbach is also a fancy deep blue diamond. Looks very similar to the Hope diamond now that it's a cushion. But this is its original shape as a cushion cut with a very large culet. That's the bottom facet on the stone. Evidently, that part of the crystal was very shallow, and the diamond cutter who cut that stone wanted to save as much weight as possible, and so left a very large culet. Two things about that. One, it identifies the stone as the Wittelsbach. When the graders at GIA saw that, they automatically knew that this was an important stone. Also, the second part of that is that when you look at this stone, because it has a big culet, it's like a big picture window. So you can see right through the stone. That's not a good thing. That stone came over to Europe about the same time as the Tavernier blue crystal. Did Tavernier bring it? We don't know. It ends up with King Philip IV of Spain, who then puts it in the dowry of his daughter, who marries his brother, who is in the Austrian royal family. And the stone stays in the Austrian royal family for several decades until it becomes part of the dowry of their daughter. It ends up in the Bavarian royal family, which takes on the Wittelsbach name. And so the diamond takes on the Wittelsbach name. So now we have the Wittelsbach. We're looking at the Wittelsbach-Graff, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. But now we have the Wittelsbach, which is a 35 karat cushion, fancy deep blue diamond. Originates from India, comes to Europe about the same time as the Tavernier blue comes from India to Europe. Both are separated. One's in France with the royal family, one's now in Bavaria with the royal family. We know a lot more about the Hope diamond and the French blue and the Tavernier blue because of all this wonderful, fun, and exciting history with it. But the Bavarian jewels really didn't do anything, didn't go anywhere, and they stayed in the family for several hundred years. Then in the early 1900s, the stone appears in auction and then disappears again until 2008. And in 2008, the stone, the Wittelsbach, shows up at the GIA laboratory, gets graded, and is put into the Christie's London auction. Everybody went crazy, including London jeweler Lawrence Graff. And Lawrence Graff buys the Wittelsbach at auction for $24 million. He would not put the paddle down. He wanted the stone. And now, in hindsight, $24 million was a bargain. But what did he buy? He bought the Wittelsbach. It's 300 plus years old as a faceted stone. It's got chips around the girdle. It's got this big, gigantic culet. And it needs a little repolishing. So, historians don't want him to touch it. As a retailer of fine jewels, he wants to clean it up. And so the rumor starts to spread around the industry worldwide that Lawrence Graff is going to recut the Wittelsbach diamond. Well, recutting and repolishing, pretty much the same thing. You're basically grinding away stone. Well, he buys the stone for $24 million plus probably $1 million here and there for the percentage that the auction house makes. Then he gives it to his cutter, and I should say cutters. There were 3 cutters involved to reshape, get rid of the chips, maintain the visual look of the original Wittelsbach, close up the culet a little bit. Now, you're looking at the Wittelsbach-Graff. Realize that that culet is 40% less than what it originally was. And what you're looking at is gigantic. So he must have really closed it up a bit. Well, it now weighs 31.06 carats, 4 carats less than what he bought. So you figure it out. 25 million for the stone, 25 million, and it was a 35 carat stone. It's now 4 carats less. That's approximately 800,000, 900,000 a carat. He cut off 4 carats. It's a lot of money.